Hi everybody, this is Lindsay from Winding Road Crochet, and I'm excited to be showing you how to make my woven cowl. I wanted to make this a video tutorial because this has been a very popular pattern and I wanted to make sure everyone was able to create it. It is a very easy pattern using basic stitch techniques, just a little outside of the box thinking on the construction part, so I hope you enjoy it. So if you like this pattern and you like this video, please make sure you subscribe and hit the like button below. That tells me you want me to make more video patterns, and I will do so. So to make this pattern, you're going to need just a few items. You're going to need a skein of Lion Brand Thick and Quick. It does only use one skein, but it's really tight, so be careful. You're also going to need a 9mm crochet hook, as well as some scissors and a yarn needle. So to save on time, I am going to be showing you how to do the child size of this cowl, but to get the pattern for the adult size, just check the description box below for a link to the pattern. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to be using the Wool Ease Thick and Quick by Lion Brand. You do not have to use this yarn. You could use any bulky size yarn, will work just fine. Now, if you have an allergy to wool or a sensitivity to wool, another option is to use the Lion Brand Heartland Thick and Quick. This is a 100% acrylic yarn, so that is a good option if you are allergic to wool. So I'm actually calling this video more of a guide over a tutorial, just because I am going to be showing you the first 3 rows, because rows 2 through 7 or 10 are actually just a 1-row repeat, and then I'll show you how to finish up with the weaving and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and start with making a slip knot. Now, you do not want to leave a huge tail if you're doing the adult size, because this project is a 1-skein project, but if you leave a huge tail, you risk making it a 2-skein project. It would really be terrible to need that second skein for just a few yards of yarn. So we'll go ahead and make our slip knot. And for the child size, we're going to go ahead and chain 40. And honestly, I could have left even a smaller tail here. I just need enough of a tail to attach the center of the scarf later. So we're going to go ahead and chain up 40 for the child size. And I'll try to do this as fast as I can. I believe for the adult size, you'd be chaining 60. Alright, 39 and 40. So now we have 40 chains. We're going ahead and half double crochet. Oops, get my yarn back over here. I can't make up my mind which side do I want my yarn on. Okay, now that we got that figured out, we're going to go ahead and half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. So it's right here, 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go ahead and half double crochet into that chain and into every chain down this chain. Put 1 stitch into every chain down this chain. We right now are creating the first, I'm actually going to use the word finger. Someone used finger earlier on a comment, but we're going to create the first finger on the side of our scarf, and then we're also going to create the center of the scarf. And that's basically what you're going to do every row. Every row you're going to create a finger on one side, and then you're going to work the center of the scarf. So we'll go ahead and work all the way down this row, and I will speed this up a little bit and get back to you whenever I'm done with this row. Alright, here we go. We are starting on row 2, and what makes this pattern just a little bit different is we're going to start by chaining 10. We are actually extending this row to make another finger, for no better word out there, at the end of this row. We're actually going to make kind of a funky looking scarf. It's going to look weird at first, but we're going to chain 10, then turn our work, and again working into the third chain from the hook right here. We're going to work into that and work 7 half double crochet. So 7 half double crochet into the chain before we start working into the actual body of the scarf itself. All right, just a few more. And then we'll go ahead and start working into the body. Very last one here. You hate when your hook won't go in. All right, now that we're working into the body, we want to create this really pretty kind of rib look in the body of the scarf. So to do that, we are going to be working into the back loop. So normally when you crochet, you would crochet under both of these top loops, but in order to crochet into the back loop only, we're just going to go through the center of the stitch and under that back loop. So we'll be working a half double crochet into each of the back loops for 30 stitches. Now keep in mind the base of this was actually 37 stitches long, so you're only going to work into the first 30 stitches, and the stitch count will of course be different for the adult size. So I'm going to go ahead and work 30 stitches down the body of the scarf, and I will get back to you when I get to the end of those 30 stitches, but you are not working the entire scarf. Alright, so we're working stitch number 29 and we're working stitch 30. So now we're at the end of row 2 and we are simply going to be repeating this. As you can see, I got 2 fingers on both sides. We are going to go ahead and repeat this for row 3 through either row 7 or row 10 if you're doing the adult scarf. So once again, we're going to chain 10, chain 10 at the beginning of this row that will extend it, creating that kind of yarny finger at the end. We'll turn it, and then we're going to work into the third chain from the hook. So there'll be 7 half double crochets into the chain, and then we'll do another 30 into the back loops of the actual scarf. And it does get easier because you can see where the end of each finger is, so it makes it a little easier going back and forth, seeing where you need to stop in each row. But it's just that first row, knowing exactly where to stop so that you don't lose that finger, that first finger or tail, whatever you'd like to call the end. It's a very unusual way of creating something, but it does work. It does create these tails that will eventually weave in together. So now we have 2 tails. On the child size, you're going to end up having 3 tails on one side and 4 tails on the other. On the adult scarf, I do believe you have 5 tails on both sides. So now I'm working into the back loops only, since I'm working into the body of the scarf. Again, that gives you a really nice kind of ribbed texture in the center to make it look more interesting. And that's how you do this 1 row repeat. You'll just keep repeating this until you have the number of rows you're looking for, creating those tails. I'm going to get the rest of the scarf done. I'm actually going to make it a 2-tone scarf, so it makes it easier to see the weaving in. To do that, I would have had to, of course, start doing the 2-tone in the first row. What I would have done is instead of working all of the 37 stitches, I would have only worked half of the body of the scarf in one color, changed color, and then worked the other half in another color. So for example, child size, I would only worked 15 stitches of the body in one color and the other. So you'll see that 2-toned as I finish up with this scarf. Alright, so here I have my two-tone scarf to make it easier to see when I change over my colors. And so when we weave this in, it'll be a little bit easier to see. You can see how we've created a really nice ribbing from working in the back loops only. This is just a fun way to do this scarf. It'd be real pretty with a lot of different color combinations. Now, I am not fastening off my yarn here. I am going to leave my hook where it is, and then I'm going to turn my yarn over so that my starting tail is on the right upper corner. I'm going to need that in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and take this tail, we're going to use it in just a second. I'm going to fold this section down, leaving my hook in place. If you need to pull the loop, pull the hook out to make it easier, that's definitely an option, but we are going to leave it in place. Using this tail, we're going to fold over the other side, and I'm actually going to take my hook, use it as a tool, that's what it's for, and I'm going to find a stitch right at the top or bottom of one of the stitches at the end of the tail and pull that through, and I'm actually going to knot that and weave it in just a little bit, but for now it's just going to hold that in place. So this might be a little messy because some of these things we're going to weave together and then it's going to unweave a little bit, but we're going to slowly work with this to get these woven together. So starting with your lighter color or whichever one you want to start with, we are going to weave in and out through the other tails of the other side. So we're going to start by going over first, over one on the other side, use the light one is going to go under one of the dark ones, and then back over go back over the dark one. So then moving on to the next one, we're going to go under first. So take the light one under the dark, take the light purple and go over a dark purple, and then take the light one and go under a dark purple. And go ahead and stretch these out, pull these tight to kind of help them stay in place. They will unravel and we will reweave them together and just to make this work really well. And then we're going to continue doing this with the other two. So over, under, over again. Still trying to work those in. These are shorter ones, so that makes it a little bit harder. With the adult one, just a smidge easier with the longer tails. And then I'm going to go ahead and stretch these out just a little bit. When I shaped these, I took in consideration how thick the scarf was compared to how wide the tails are. So I really wouldn't be adjusting this pattern too much because that was taken in consideration when it was designed. Now using your hook, you're going to go back into your loop. And now we are going to single crochet, 2 single crochet into the end of each tail. So right now I'm only going to be working with the light purple. I'm putting 1 single crochet into the tail going around that turning chain. And then now I'm grabbing the second light purple tail and I'm going to work 2 single crochet into this tail as well, going around that turning chain. 1, 2. And then again, we're grabbing the purple, the lighter purple color. And we're going to do 2 more single crochet. All right, and that gets us to the point. Actually, nope, I'm lied. There's 1 more. Lindsay can't count, it's okay, we get through it. Go ahead and make 2 single crochet into this one as well. All right, there we go. All right, now we got the first side done. And yes, that last one came undone. It's not a big deal. We'll weave it all in when we go up the second side. So go ahead and get these back in place. How dare they move? Yeah, you know how it is. Yarn has a mind of its own. Now we're going to go start working up the next side. But before we do, we're just going to chain 1 to help us get a little bit more of a point. You could chain 2 if you'd like. It's a little bit optional, but right now I'm just chaining 1. Now I'm working into the dark purple. and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm doing 2 single crochet into the end of each of the dark purple. Just make sure that everything is woven correctly. If you're going over one, then you want to go under. It's really easy, just the way you typically do a basket weave or top of a pie or whatever suits your fancy, whatever you've woven before. So we're going into the last one because this side does only have 3. 2 single crochet, and then to finish it off, we're just going to find a stitch that we think's about in the right position, and we're going to slip stitch to that stitch. And then you will yarn over once more, and we're going to clip the thread and pull that through. So that just leaves us with 2 thread ends to weave in, and now we're just going to finish up with our fringe. So to make the fringe, you're just going to take a piece. I do have the exact measurements on the blog post. It's important to follow the measurements for the adult size because again it's going to be really tight to keep it under one skein. So for here I'm not going to measure as carefully, but I'm going to take one length about this size. I'm going to be working into the single crochets. I'm only going to put 1 strand of yarn into each single crochet. So you're going to take your yarn and you're going to fold it in half, push your hook through one of the single crochet stitches, pull that loop over your hook, pull that through. Now I did go in from the back side of the work to the front, pulled that loop through to the back, put both threads over my hook, and then pull that tight. So that will create your fringe. And then I didn't do it too neatly. I could have made the pieces exactly the same size, but I'll just trim it up. It's not really a huge deal, but you will put 1 thread into each single crochet and then 1 thread into that chain in the center, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Once you have all your fringe in and your ends woven in, your scarf is done and you can enjoy it. Alright, so we are all done, and I am so appreciative that you watched this video all the way through. If you like the woven cowl and you want to check out more of my patterns, there is a link in the description box below. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and hit the like button. That tells me you want me to make more videos. Also, you can follow me on any of my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook. I'm everywhere. So those links will also be in the comments below. Thank you so much.